This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so today we are going to learn AWS. So the first question is, sorry, I have some issues with my voice today. So first question is, what is AWS? So here we say Amazon Web Services. This is the full form, Amazon Web Services. Amazon is a company name, correct? Amazon is a company name. Web means you understand, right? Web means www. Now services means, okay, services means services means some feature which you can get using web. Simple. Some feature, it can be any features, right? It can be any feature. Some feature which you want to get it using app. Now the question is, what feature you are talking about? So some of the features which you can talk about it, something like this. Let's say you want to set up a dev environment. Let's say you want to set up a QA environment. For dev environment and QA environment, what do you need? Maybe your laptop is not sufficient for that. So what do you need? Maybe you need too many machines, 4-5 machines. For how many times? How many hours? Maybe half an hour in a day, or maybe 20-30 times in a year, maybe 50 times in a year. So are you going to invest? Your organization is going to invest into those many machines and pay lifetime. So you will not use those machines physical, you will use virtual. Virtual means virtual server. Now at the simplest form of virtual server, which you can get it through the VMware, VirtualBox, Zen, KVM, you saw that, right? So even though you have to pay 20 for the full amount, like let's say if I need, my project need 20 servers. Think simple, okay? 20 servers. So I'm going to buy those 20 servers and power those 20 servers. Power means electricity and all, and then internet also, and some IT team to manage those as well. So all this cost will have to incur. And how many times you're going to use it? Only 50 times in a year, maybe 100 times in a year, and few hours in a day. So you are using only limited time, but you have to pay for entire durations, right? That is where that many service provider has come, and they say, hey, let's do one thing. Because we are public, we are giving a services to the whole world, not only for one project. So we'll do some adjustment here and there, but you pay only for the what you are using. That means you pay hourly basis or sometimes second basis also. Like if I have a good memory, Azure charges per second, Google Cloud also charges per second, but AWS charges per hour. So what you want? So you want to have computing services, okay? You want to have storage services. You want to have networking services. You want to have database services. You want to have DNS services. You want to have any services which you want, any sort of, you know, the data center requirement which you want, they will provide it. Okay, so that's the reason when it comes from the www, we started calling services. But when we set up our own, then we don't call it services. Or maybe you can say the services from the IT team also. So computing means what? VMs, simple way. VMs I need where I need a CPU and RAM for running some software. Simple. VMs, a place where we can get environments so we can run our software like Apache, Tomcat, Java, Python, Perl, Jenkins. If you talk about the R tools like then Jira, Jenkins, Confluence, Ansible, Kubernetes, Docker, all this software we are going to run over there. So that's called computing. So this computing, this VMs will get it on www. That's the reason we call it services. So this is the AWS services we have. Like that, we have a multiple providers also. Google Cloud Services, Amazon is anyways we are discussing. Azure services, portal services. So like that. Storage, you want to store some data. You want to store some data. Then you can buy storage. Then you'll say, Rajesh, why we are not getting the storage in VMs? The concept is different. This is for only running application. This service only for storing the application. Both you can link together also. Networking services. You want the database services. Database services means here, see what you can do. Method number one, you can create some VMs and install the database server in manually in the VMs. So it will be in computing. But what is the drawback? So drawback is like you have to manage this server, patching, upgrades, security, and all these things that you have to take care of. But if you go for these services, they will provide you only the database. That database means user ID, database name, password, and port number. And you do whatever you want. So rest the IT work, they will take care of it. Okay. DNS services. Okay. So apart from that, so this all services which I'm discussing right now. Sorry. So this all services which I'm discussing right now, we call it IaaS. Anyone have idea what is this stand for? IaaS services. Anyone have idea?
Infrastructure as a service.
Service. You must be, all of you must be working in some project, right? So you say IT team, so information technology team, or sometime infra team you want to call it, tools team, IT team, hardware team, or something like that. So this is the infrastructure service. This you get it on a www, that's okay. Somewhere has to be created. But then we have one more services which is model. This is called model, okay? Computing model. I mean service model, cloud model. That what are the services kind of model you offer? Then we have a platform as a service. So platform as a service means database is coming in that category. So platform means as a service means you are using. You are not availing the infra and you are not availing the runtime. Like let's say when a database means runtime means SQL engine, right? You are not, who will take care of it? Cloud provider like AWS will take care of it. So still you are running your data over there, you are having the data, you are using the data. So you don't have to worry about anything. So this is a database. Like we have a lots of services, which is like SNS, SQS, SES, many other services. So these are the past services. Now you'll ask how many services we have on AWS. So 5,000 plus. 5,000 plus services you have on AWS. So if someone is asking me, Rajesh, I want to learn everything. So let me tell you, even though if you spend entire life, you will not be able to learn everything. Why? Because you can be either developer or QA or operations, okay, or operations, or manager, or architect. You can't be hero in everything, correct? Whereas AWS giving services for every domain. You are a developer, services are there. You are a QA people, services are there. Your IT people, services are there. Security people, services are there. Robotics people, services are there. AI, ML, satellites, services are there. Developer tools, services are there. CTO, CIO, and all services are there. Accounting team, services are there. So basically, you have every kind of services. But these are the one which I'm discussing right now. We call it a foundation service. You want the VM, you want the storage, you want the networking. These are the called foundation services. So like that, we have a platform as a services also. In the platform as a services, they'll take care of infrastructure and runtime also. But you have your own data and use it. Okay. So this is called platform. This one, there is no sorry. There's one more services which is being used, which is called software as a service. Software as a services, that means you don't have to worry about the IT also. Don't have to worry about the this one also. What do you say? Runtime also, and don't have to worry about the data also. Just you start using Azure. It's end user, something like a Gmail you are using, right? This is a SaaS based software as a service. That means you are using the software itself. Even you do not care anything about the software. So something which you can use software as a service, which you can use. Sorry, this you can consider software partially, depends on the context. Okay, so software as a service, you can use many software as a service. We have dev tools, we have many software services and stuff like that. So these are the models. Primarily we have 5,000 services. We have infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Few more models we have, which is function as a service. Function as a service. Okay, we have few more container as a service. Okay, so multiple models we have, and for this we have a different service. Function means the function which you write in the code. Method, function, that also you can run in the serverless computing also there. Many things are there in the AWS. This is a ocean. So by now we understand that AWS is a website where we can get the services which we need, something like a computing, VMs you can go and create. You want to store some files and folders, you can go and create networking and DNS. So this is the something which you have to learn that. So how to get started? How to get started? That's a question. How do we get started? So simple, 12 months trial periods are available for all of you. Okay, not for me, but if you have a credit card, new credit card, you can use it. AWS trial here. So you can go and create an account. You need credit card for that. Okay, so you can go and use this, and credit card, email address, name and all. So you can create a free account actually. And then many services are available for 12 months, and some services which is always free. This is not for your use actually. If you get into the advanced stage of services, then you probably use it. 12 months free. This is important. So don't blindly use it. I'll tell you here in simple way. When you subscribe for Google Cloud, then you get somewhere $250 or something like that, 200 or $250. So for that $250, you can use it for a month, and anything you can use it, anything, any type of services. Same goes with more or less Azure also. But AWS is different here. So AWS, they say, hey, I'll give you 1 year of access, but you cannot you cannot do everything in 12 months. That means there's a limitation. That means here only 750 hours of VMs compute. See here, storage, database. So don't go blindly and start using it first. Read this before start creating the, let's say, VM or storage or database or ML or compute, whatever it is, Lambda, serverless. Are you getting my points, guys? All of you?
Yes.
So don't get others. Tomorrow you will say, Rajesh, because of you I got $200 of build or something like that. Don't do that actually. First learn what is free. Okay, what is free? Okay, so you have to register here. Let me tell you one more thing, though I cannot guarantee this may happen. But let's say if you are using trial account and you have incurred some of the costed because of your carelessness and some costed, let's say $100 or something like that. Okay, so that you can ask support. You see my cursor right on top? Supports are available. So you can ask the support to waive off, and that is a trick you can play around, saying that okay, I was learning, I was not knowing, I did not read the documentation either. So can you please waive off in the support of my learning initiative? So most of the time I have seen they will waive off. So please remember that also. So how do we get started? Yes, you get started from 12 months trial period and stuff like that. So any questions so far? If someone wants to get started, or what is at a AWS, what is AWS at a high level? No. Okay, now let's start discussing something called region concept and availability zone concept. Okay, region and availability zone concept. So what is region actually? One more thing, I'm not using slides because this is only 4 hours of session. If I start teaching you AWS in a formal way with the slides and all the stuff, blah, 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 it will take 4 to 5 days actually. So that is a problem. So I hope you understand my limitation. But at the end of it, I want to show you many options. So I'm not using slides. But the question is where to get slides. Anyone knows about that? Where to get all the slides if you want to use it? All of you know that where to go and get the slides, right?
No,
Hello?
actually.
So just remember these 3 URL. Okay, I'll put it in the chat that are groups. Here you have all the slides. Here you have many slides. And by the way, this area, this location which I'm showing you, you can share your own slides also. Okay, this is my slides, but you can share your own slides. And there is one more portal which is my old one. This is also, you can get the slides. I'll share this URL through the chat window on WhatsApp. But I said share the kit, right? So the kit, you remember that. So all these places you get the slides for sure. Okay, coming back to the points. What is region? Okay, so let's discuss in a different way. Let's say Shiva. Shiva, are you in this call? Shiva? No? Okay, so I'm not sure how many are of you are there. So anyone who's taking a volunteer, I want you to discuss one-to-one. Anyone?
Sorry, what was that?
Anil, yeah. So let's discuss. So think about it. Today, you are creating, let's say you act like architecture.
Mm-hmm.
You are architect for the software, and software which will do the competition to the AWS. And this software, software services, whatever you have, you want to offer to the global.
Mm-hmm.
So you are developing a software data center sort of it using, let's say, VMware only or VirtualBox only, KVM, all this thing. So you want to develop a software and you want to offer to the global level.
Yeah.
So if you want to offer to the global level, so how do you design that your software so it will be reachable to the entire world, but at the same time also addressing the government concern, data center concerns, and all this stuff? How do you design?
Basically, I will distribute this software across the regions basing on the
Yeah,
need and basing on the accessibility. That is the first
yeah,
thing. And second thing is like we also need to take care of the zone specific, country specific regulatory compliance. And following that security guidelines, we'll have to set up this data center in which the servers will be hosted physically.
yeah. So same thing, in fact, AWS did what they did. AWS located the market first. So very largest market we have USA, and then European Union. Europe is now something we can call it is like a one country. I mean, it's not one country, but kind of. Then, then we have a Japan, very large country, large business. India also, and China. You can say right now we have this place. I forgot the name of this. Very popular place in China. So yeah. So this is the country which is a major country. So AWS, what they did, they said they see like, okay, these are the country which is pretty large in terms of economies and using of the internet-based services. Because wherever the internet is there, then only you can use the internet-based services, right? So what they decided, okay, in this country we have a different rules, different things. So let's do one thing. Let's set up a data center in a different locations. Okay, data centers in different locations. So let's have a few data center based upon the needs we have for USA, Europe, Japan, India, China, and rest of the world also. And this data center, like major data center, they call it region. So I want to show you this AWS. Just click on the regions and go to the image, and you see that probably this image is right one. Look at this here. So these are the regions you have. These are the data center locations which you have. Okay, these are the data centers. So look at this. Some of the regions are already established. Some of the regions are coming up. If you look at this, USA and Europe have too many regions, and India, I think one is there in Mumbai. One is upcoming. I don't have a good memory, but maybe Chennai or Hyderabad. So one is upcoming regions for AWS. So this is where that they have set up a data center because they wanted to serve globally, and globally means too many countries, too many rules, too many regulations, and stuff like that. And all of this region, what they did, they connected with the dedicated fiber optics. Okay, why they connected each region with a dedicated fiber optics? For greater experiences. So let's say you can run applications here, but still your experience is too good actually. Experience means your tenancy, latency and stuff like that. Loading time of applications. So many things they have done it at a high level. So that's called region. So are you comfortable with the region concept? All of you?
Yes.
Yes. So now I would like to show you. I have accounts actually. Okay, you can create account. Anyone in the whole world can create account. That's not a problem. If you have a credit card, you can do that. This is my account. I think 10, 12 years old. Okay, so it's I'm using it. So this is the home page after login. Okay, but where do I see the region? Look at this here, right side. Okay, these are the regions. So remember that by default, if I'm not wrong, you'll get it in Ohio. Okay, default region after login. So if you want to work with the Mumbai region, just like me, you have to select that. So here, if you see that, the URL will be different from Mumbai region. This is a AP Asia Pacific South 1. Okay, so if you go for some other region, let's say Cape Town, Africa, which is here, see here, there's some message for the Cape Town, Africa. Let's change it to some, let's go to the Oregon, US region. And you see that URL got changed. Okay, so these are the different regions. So think about it. It's very important concept. Many people just ignore it, and that what you guys ignore it. When you create a VMs in the Mumbai region, it's running in the data center of Mumbai. Okay, so it's not like there is one website. Many people think it's a one website. Wherever I create, it should be at only one place. No, these are the interface to connect the 12, not 12, I think 16 regions around the world. This is a common interface to connect all these regions. So you can create a VM here also. You can create a VM here also. This is the Cape Town in South Africa. This is Brazil, San Paulo or something like that. Japan, we have 2 regions. South Korea also, China also. What is this called? This area called? I'm not able to recall immediately. Starting with H. This one?
Hong Kong.
See my Hong Kong, yes. Hong Kong. Earlier it was an open place for the businesses and all. Now it's been closed again because of governments of China. Yeah, these are the see here. Malaysia you have, Singapore you have, and other places. Australia also. So yes, you can create a VMs anywhere. But let me ask you one thing. Let's say you have a user in India. Your user base are in India. Then you should create the VMs in Mumbai region. But let's say if you have, think simple, okay? Always think simple. But if you have a users in India, Europe, USA, then you should have creating the virtual machine here also, here also, here also. Region wide clustering you have to create. Multiple region across, because you want to give the experience to US people also good, Europe also good, India also good. Correct? Are you getting my point? So you design the architect in your mind. Think simple always. User experience is important. So you have to run that across the region. Okay. So how do you load balance that across the region? So you have a DNS services for that. DNS services here. Okay. So different services are there. So I think I feel you should be very comfortable with the region concept at least. Now AJ concept. AJ means what? So AJ means availability zone. Let's talk about the Mumbai region. Okay. So Mumbai region, what happens? This is a Mumbai region. Okay. In the Mumbai region, one part of the Mumbai. So when I say Mumbai region, please don't take it this as a granted like the servers will be in Mumbai. Okay. This is not, or let's say if we say Ohio and all. So don't think in this way like the server will be in Ohio. The server can be out of Ohio also, but we labeled them as a Ohio because of city name we go for it. So Mumbai region, let's say there is one data center. Think simple, okay? There is one data center. This is a data center. This is a Mumbai region. So now suddenly what has happened? You know that some political instability may come. So earthquake is a part of you can control. Fire can control, but you know the human mistake do lots of things. Recently we have lost 30-40 people in Delhi, I guess, last month. correct? So earthquake, fires, tsunami, you can't control, right? Riots sometime power outages, many regions. Think simple, okay? This region is used by millions of users. Mumbai region is being used by millions of users, and they are running their online business. And just because of this region, this data center is down because of any other region, then don't you think so? You have a bad experience using the cloud. Entire business will be down just because of this incident. Correct now? All of you? All of you?
Yes.
Yeah, Rajesh,
So
yes,
what
yes.
they, yeah, so what they did just to avoid that, like this kind of activity should not create a trouble for my clients and stuff like that. Every cloud provider, I'm not teaching only AWS, okay? Every cloud provider, what they decided, they divided the region into the two zone, availability zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, depends on that. So at least two availability zone will be there. Now this availability zone is connected with the LAN actually. So LAN versus WAN, you understand that, right? LAN versus WAN, right? LAN versus WAN. So these are the connected to the LAN, but this is a different geographical data center. This is a different geographical data center. So now let's say you want to think simple. You want to make it HA, highly available software application. So you run here also one VM. One VM you will run in this region, this availability zone, and one VM you will run in this availability zone. Okay. So users will be highly available. So if one goes down, this is still running. Okay. Or let's say, AWS also is having lots of PaaS and SaaS software where they tell you like I should have a 99% of 99.99999% of SLA, means it should be up and running. So AWS also can use this availability zone and this availability zone as a backup. So AWS also can use, you also can use to make this software highly available, highly reliable, and so forth. So one region at least has been divided into at least two availability zones, minimum two availability.
I have one question here.
Yeah.
So, region is divided into availability zones. Let's say we have two regions in India, and we host our application in Mumbai region. So the availability zone for me will always be whatever available inside India, oh sorry, Mumbai region, or is it going to be I can choose availability zone from Hyderabad region as well?
No, no, no. When I say region, it's like you say it's a data center, the one which is lying. Now this data center is divided into two parts. Okay, maybe I'll put it in a simple way. If you are from Bangalore, so let's say in Bangalore we have one region, and I will run one of the data center in, let's say, Yashwantpur, and another one is a Kharagpur, something like that. So two different locations, physical location, but between the connection will be LAN connection. That means will be highly advanced, topmost fiber optics will be there, and it will be LAN. But this is the one region, and region this is the region two. Between that, this will be the WAN connection. Uh, are you getting my point? For example, this is your
Yes.
home. This is your home. Think simple, okay? This is your home, and you have a one network through the router. You are running one laptop, and you are running second laptop. So between this, the connection what you are getting is a LAN connection. But there's another home next to you, your neighborhood. Again, they have a network, and then suddenly, if you go to that home and their laptop is running, they'll become a WAN actually, kind of WAN, smaller kind of WAN, something like that. Got it?
Okay, so if I host my application in one data center, one region, then the availability zones will be default to it.
Yes.
Like it will.
Either you can create a VM here or here, but we will create application both the place. Why? Because see, your applications, if you don't create in a both place and some right earthquake, this that and happen, so your application is down. But if you create at a two place, then at least chances are of having application uptime more. Many
So
people,
that
many
that is something you the customer does not configure. It happens in the
No, no, no.
back
no,
end
no, no,
in a
no,
way.
See,
no.
basically, I
You
think, Rajesh, I think, say, in South, if you consider India as a complete one zone, and you have a data center in Delhi and Chennai, in two different locations, then the load is automatically distributed. We don't know where it would be. We cannot pin it to a particular data center. But
so
as you
here
said,
you
like
have to
somebody asked the question, it is the object is available in this region
yeah.
that the
So
AWS automatically takes care of. Yeah.
yeah, so Delhi and Mumbai, it will become a two region actually. You can't call it availability zone because the distance between the Delhi and Mumbai is almost 2000 kilometers. Okay. So when I say availability zone is a see data center one and data center two, and it should be nearest available. That means I'm just my guess. There's no fact available like that because this kind of information is not available in the public domain because of security region of data center. But maybe 1-2 kilometer or something like that. Between that, direct fiber optics has been created, like, and it's creating one LAN actually few kilometers between the two edges. This is one data center, this is another data center. Together you call it region. And this data center located, that's what I am saying. If you know Bangalore well, maybe Yeshwanthpur and Karapuram, or maybe some little bit 10-20 kilometers, or maybe something like that at max.
Okay. So this is something I would say Amazon or the cloud service provider has configured themselves so that
Yes.
Yes.
they can handle these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. So when you architect your software, see, ultimately you are going to architect over there, right? So you will say, hey, run the one VM in AJS one and run one VM in AJS two, and then make it highly available. Now, if this is a highly available within a region, but many organizations they want a highly available across the region actually. So in that case, they will run the software. They run VMs in the all the regions. They will run here also, here also, here also, here also, here also, and through the load balance, through the not load balancer, through the DNS, they will transfer the traffic. For example, let me put it up this way: I'm searching
It, will- it will
DevOps.
be like a replica or
Yeah.
distribution of traffic. It's replica, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not the distributed traffic. That's just for
Yes.
backup disaster recovery kind of.
yeah, DR, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say if I type DevOps school, okay, right now this request is being served through the COM means USA. Okay, this request. But sometime what happens, you will redirect to google.co.in. Sometime this will also happen. This is a google.com. And you see here, this is served by the India server. Okay, so depends on that.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's move on. So this is the region, this is the minimum two availability zone has to be there. Now, on top of that, I have decided directly I'll show you the demo and a demo of what? Creating a VM, compute. After that, I'll utilize storage. And then after that, I'll talk about the networking. Okay. So here, look at this. These are the category of services. These are the category. Okay. I just said 5,000 services are available on AWS and it's counting. Okay. It's counting every time. So what I have decided, I'll go to the compute. And in inside the compute also there's subcategory. Look at this. So slowly you'll get used to it. Don't worry about that. As I said, don't try to learn everything in one day only. Gradually you will get it. Even though if you use the 5 to 7 categories of it, you'll be called expert in AWS. Okay. Because you see that here I told you, right? Everything you can get it here. From storage, security, satellites, robotics, quantum. I don't know actually. Robotics, I don't know. Quantum, I don't know. Okay. So it's like that. IoT, I don't know. Game development, I don't know. So it's like that. So you have to know about this. So compute is something which you need to know. Containers you need to know. Database you need to know. Developer tools you need to know. Okay. Some of the things, if you go below, networking you need to know. Security you need to know. Storage you need to know. So these are the services. But if you look at the compute also, there's so many services. So many services. But which one, where I do, where would I get a VM? So VMs I get it for EC2. What they call it? In Azure, they call it a VM only, virtual machine. But in AWS, we call it an instance. Okay, so EC2 instance. This the EC2 means Elastic Cloud Computing. Okay, so this is the view again. If you look at this left side, don't get lost. Too many services you have. Here you can create a load balancer here. Here you can create a auto scaling group. Here you have some volumes, snapshot and all you can attach to it, like storage. Okay, here some templates sort of things. So VMs you can create here. A lot of services are there. So now the coming back to the question, after selecting the region, we decided to VM, virtual machines, but we call it in AWS EC2. Okay, EC2. That's a whatever the VM which you created right in your laptop last time. The hypervisor was VirtualBox. The same way you will create through the website. Now then you'll ask Rajesh, what hypervisor AWS is using? Like right now, don't need to know that because anyways we are not into that managing their data centers. But their internal technology is powered by multiple hypervisors. Okay, so there's a use cases available on the internet, so you can just check it out. Okay, so we will create a VMs on AWS. So these VMs are also different types of VMs we have. One of the VMs we have is, you can see this one here, left side. Here you have a on-demand VM. Then here you have a spot VM. Then we have a reserved VM. Then we have a dedicated VM, and so on. One more class which we have, I'm not able to recall this. So these are the on-demand spot VM. Okay, spot VM, reserved VM, and dedicated VM. So then you'll ask Rajesh, what is the difference between them? Simple. On demand. On demand means what? I need now. I need anytime. I will come to AWS and I will get the EC2 instance. So this is a more costlier actually, because you know that if you immediately place an order, then it has to be costly, right? It happens in the our daily work also, right? Daily life also. But here, if you say no, I'm reserving for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, then it will be cheaper. 30 to 40% discount you get it here on the reserve. Here you won't get a discount. Dedicated means the VMs will not be created in the shared data center, but for you they will be dedicating the hardware. Most costly. Are you understanding by reading the name itself?
Yes, Harish.
Spot means see, AWS is having large infrastructure. Not all this can be sold out. So let's say if some of the inventory which cannot be sold out, let's say big basket, if they have a lots of Apple and they know that after 1 week that will be spoiled. So what they do, they put it on the discount and offer 50% discount, right? And we buy it, correct? No? So something like that AWS is also doing. Remember that once the infrastructure, you cannot reuse it. Like ours is lost, then you cannot get back to that those hours. You'll have to incur the cost of the running those infrastructure. So what AWS is doing, they are creating a bid process. We call it spot market. Okay, spot market. So spot market, I mean, anyone can bid for that EC2 instance at a dirt cheap price. But the only disadvantage of this is this will be available as long as your that capacity is available. After that, if someone outbid you, so they will transfer that VMs to someone else and stuff like that. Then you will say, Rajesh, if I bought at the bid, I got it at the bid, certain bids, and I'm using it, and suddenly someone outbid me, so they will transfer that EC2 instance to others. What will be use cases? Remember EC2 for the compute. You keep using the compute services. So compute like let's say weather forecasting and stuff like that, where you require huge computer at a dirt cheap price, you can use a Spot. Not for the running reliable services. Reliable services you can use a reserve or on demand will be costly. Are you understanding, all of you? Are you understanding?
Yes, yes, Raj. Yes, Raj. Yes.
Yeah. So now I can only go for the on demand because reserved I have to pay too much money for 1 year. Just for the demo is not required. So how do I do? So go for, see here, Spot request, reserved instance, dedicated host. That means launch Spot. I'll go to the on demand. So right now, if you see that I have a 2 VMs already running. Okay. This is the VM. This VM is having one software which I'm developing for you guys only, Gyan.school, which is not coming up properly right now, but it will be soon. It will be replacing the LMS in the next 6 months. Okay. So yeah, this is coming. I will let you know. So I have a 2 VMs running. I want more VMs to be running. So what to do? Launch instance. And look at this here. Top. Step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, step number 4, step number 5, 6, 7. Okay. So here what I have to do? Step number 1, you have to select the image. I hope you remember yesterday, last time, when you create a VM using the virtual box, you had an image, Ubuntu image or CentOS image. Same way we have to do here, these images. How many images we have on AWS Mumbai region? More than 65,000 images. Look at this quick start. 46 image you see here. Go to the my AMIs. My AMIs means my image. So I have a 3 image here. Go to the marketplace and read that how many images you have. See here. Number of product means number of images. And go for the community one. See, look at the number. Not 60, 93. So a lot of, from last 6-8 months, lots of images have. Okay, so go for the quick start and select which operating system you want. So let's say I want Ubuntu or CentOS or Fedora or Windows. You select the image like that. So I'm selecting Ubuntu for the time being. Step number 2. Here you have to select how much CPU you want to give it. These are the template has been created by AWS. So let me tell you, can you see this one? What is the stage? Anyone, one of you want to read it?
T2 micro, free tier.
Free tier, remember that when you go for the account on AWS, and only those services are free, where is tag you find like this. Please remember this tag. If you don't find the tag like this, that is not free under your trial account. So if you go for free trial, if your account is 1 year old, then this will not be chargeable for up to the 750 hours. Again, request you to read that. Okay. So for me, I can go for anything because this old account is not free tier. So I can go for 1 GB, 1 CPU, 1 CPU, 2 GB RAM, 2 CPU, 4 GB RAM, whatever you want. A lot of configuration they have given it to you. See, look at this, 36 CPU, 96 GB of RAM, and go for that as per you. So learning purpose, I think all of your DevOps tool will work in the below this configuration. So let's say if you are setting up a server, 2 CPU, 4 GB RAM, more than sufficient. If you are doing something other stuff, small one, then this is okay. Okay, so I'll just go for this one and fill this. Now, I know that you want to learn each field here, but remember that there's one word which I say, I feel also. Like if you want to learn everything, then you are not learning anything. So sometimes it's easy to ignore some of the stuff to learn at the other stuff, big stuff. Because I don't want you to get lost in this, okay, initially. Because the moment you get lost in this, Probably only end of the 2 hours you'll be able to create a VMs. So just get the fear out of you of AWS, and after that, once the fear is out of you about AWS, then you can come and explore what exactly this purchasing options, networking options, subnet options, host type, DNS, placement group, capacity, and blah blah blah. So many entries are there. So if you want to understand all these things, you have to learn all the other services first before coming to the VM creation, which I don't want you to do that. So ignore it. Right now, how many instances? One or 1,000. It's up to you. I want one. Okay. And then next. Here you are adding the storage. Am I adding this storage? This storage? No. This storage you are adding for running the VM's operating system. Okay. You should also read once this one. Okay. And get it done. So 8 GB is for this. You can increase it if you really want it. This is called inferior storage. Okay. Inferior means this is only for running the VMs. If you delete the VM, this storage also will be deleted. If you don't want to delete that VM, this storage where the VM is deleted, you see that delete on termination, you have to uncheck it. Encryption and many other stuff also you have it. I'll not care about it. Next. Tagging, labelings you will see everywhere. Any services which you use on AWS, you will have a tags, you'll have a labels and stuff like that. Why we use tags? Let's say my name is Rajesh, but you can tag me as a trainer also, coach also, DevOps engineer also, Raj also, whatever name you want to tag, I'm okay with it. Ultimately, it will reach, you'll be referring me only, right? So same way, tags means any resources which you create on AWS, you can tag it, giving the multiple names. So here you can give the name. There are some of the keys are reserved. You can give any keys, any values, whichever you want, but some keys are reserved for it. For example, you can learn some of the reserved key. So for example, name is used by AWS. Keys is being used by AWS. So this is a demo Linux, and just give it. So next time when you search name is equal to demo Linux, I can get it. You can tag as many. Here, this is a security group. Security group means what? So guys, do you know the concept of firewall, all of you?
Sorry?
Concept of firewall?
Yes.
Firewall, right? So guys, there are multiple types of firewall we have, okay? So multiple types of firewall. One is like OS level firewall. Another one is like network level firewall. Okay. And ISP, I mean, other level of firewall, we don't need to get into. Okay. So OS level firewall, like I'll just remind you, this is a firewall. My Windows firewall, where is that? Here it is. Check firewall status. And okay. So right now I cannot modify because my firewall is managed by my antivirus. Okay. So yeah, this is the firewall. But this firewall, the one which you see, configure security group. So whenever you get a security group, means what? Network level firewall. All have to hard code this. Your network level firewall. OS level firewall, you know that already. So security group is equal to network level firewall. You can read this. So here you can allow some, say VMs should be allowed or certain port, incoming and outgoing, ingress, egress. Okay. So some of the keyword, if you are not, some of you, if you are not comfortable, then write in your personal notes and search that what is the meaning of ingress, what is the meaning of egress. All these things you write it and do that offline study. Networking concept will be little bit better in it. So here you can set up an ingress and egress here. Add a rule and you can allow HTTP. See, SSH automatically has come because it was Linux box. If you want to allow HTTP, you can do that. Right now I'm not adding because I can modify later also. So this is the security group. Now they're saying, hey, you want to create your own security group or existing group? I'll use my own. So this is a demo, July 2022, and review all these things. Some of the warning, read it is one time. I'm not reading because got used to it. And all this thing, launch. The moment you launch, then they will prompt you this one. What is this? See, in AWS, this launch. So the moment you launch, you'll get this prompt. What is this? So they're saying, hey, create your key pair. Not sure why it is. Create your key pair. Key pair for what? So please hard code this statement, whether you go and create a Windows machine or Linux machines. You have to create a key pair, private key and public key. Why you have to create a private key and public key? Reasons are very simple. How do you log in? Then you'll say, Rajesh, no, I don't need a private key and public key. I need a password. Yeah, you can get a password also. You can set a password also. You can generate it with the custom AMIs, or you can go and enable it. How to do that? I'll teach you. Okay. So this key pair, are you using the existing one? I have so many key pairs. All these are RSA key pairs. But I'm going to generate a new one. This is the RSA key pair named with a demo July 2022. It's disabled until you download. PEM file will be downloaded. I think I clicked on the download, but it's not clicking, not sure why. Am I connected to the internet, or all of you are able to hear me, right? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Rajesh, able to hear.
Yeah. So I clicked on download, it downloaded, and after that, this enabled. Yes, I created a Linux box. Here it is. This is the demo Linux. So now I'll create one more box without explaining. This time Windows box, okay? Yeah. Same process. One machine, 30 GB. Tag it, name, Windows. Configure security. This time I'm going to use my. It's not. You should create a different security group for Linux or Windows, but right now I don't care too much. So where is that demo? This is review. They're saying, hey, Windows, your machine you're creating, which can access through the RDP, that port number is not open. It's okay, I'll open it later. Launch. Same key, I'm using it. Here. Done. So I created one Linux machine and one Windows machine. Do whatever you want now. Same thing you did on the laptop last time, using the VirtualBox. So now guys, here, these two VMs, you look at the state. I think by reading itself, you'll get to know. You can stop the VM, you can start the VM, you can reboot the VM, you can hibernate the VM, you can terminate the VM. Terminate means lost forever. Few actions are also there. I would request you to look at it while learning. Connecting, view details, some of the settings of instance, networking settings, security setting, image settings, monitoring also you can enable. So I have a keys. So what I'll do, I'll create one demo directory just for the demo. And this is the key I have downloaded already. I'll copy it. Now, how do I connect? So guys, this is the PEM file. So SSH can be used with the PEM file. Now let's say, Rajesh, I want to use putty. So for putty, this key will not work. What you have to do, you have to generate the PPK file. So here, I'll go to this place and type putty. And here, This is the tutorial will help you. How to log in Linux server of AWS from Windows using Putty. So first, this PM file you have to convert into PPK file. How? This is a utility. Once you get a PPK file, then call this Putty, load the PPK file here, and then use it. Login. Done. So that you can do it also. I'm using the Git bash because I want also you to start using Git bash. So what I'll do, this is a Git bash. Now Git bash is having SSH also. So now you'll say, Rajesh, what is the username? So username I will ask from the EC2 instance only. So first we'll try Linux connect. Here you can connect multiple ways: SSH client, serial console, session manager, many ways to use it, but I'll not get you lost in many other features, so you lose the interest itself and you start assuming everything is so vast. No, don't think. It's very simple. Ubuntu. So here ssh-i key Ubuntu at the rate of IP address. Now, when you say IP address, that's where we need to discuss. So here, if you see, there is a public IP address and there is a private IP address. Okay. So now the question is, which one I'm going to use? So before me telling you public and private, understand the concept first. Understanding the concept is very important. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. Let's say this is your home and this is your router. This is one laptop. This is another laptop in your home network. All are connected to the same network. So this laptop also has IP address. This laptop also has IP address. And you are somewhere inside a home. Inside a home. So don't you think you can connect this machine also and this machine also? What do you think? Hello?
Yes.
But let's say there is a neighborhood, your another home. This also have an internet network. This is a VM. This is a laptop. So now if they want to connect to this machine to this machine, will they be able to do that? Tell me.
No.
They can.
Why no?
They can.
They are in the different
Anything
time zone.
via the router.
No, but why no?
Because it's outside local network.
Local network. This is the local network. Scope of this networking, which is set by router, is local. Whatever the machine mobile you connect, it will be inside your local network. It cannot be accessible from outside. So what to do? So that's where your ISP will come into the picture. They say, okay, I'll give you one public IP address here for your router, your connections. This is a public IP address. Public means static IP address. Okay, so this IP address, anyone hit, so this guy will hit this IP address, and from here you can forward that request to this machine or this machine. So that machine, the setting you will do in the router, saying that anyone hit to this one, you should redirect to here or whatever it is. Are you understanding?
Yes.
All of you? So that's where the public IP address needed. Who gave it to you? ISP provider. ISP means your Airtel guys or Vodafone guys and all. Correct? Or Reliance Jio broadband if you're using it. Understood the concept at least?
Yes.
Okay, so same thing guys, we have AWS also. See, private IP address is a real IP address. Can we access from inside? No. From outside, from Bangalore? No. So what they did, AWS given free of cost this static IP address. Free of cost. They say, hey, I'll give you the access because of this IP address because you want to use this VM, ease of using. So I'll give you this private public IP address. It's a free. So as long as you run this VM, this IP address will be free. But if you want, but you know what? If you stop this VM, the VM, this IP address next time when you run, it will change. Remember, public IP address will change the moment you stop and start the VM. Not restart, but stop and start. So then you say, Rajesh, I don't want this to be changed every time. So for that, by the static IP address, which we in AWS we call it elastic IP address. Here you see my cursor, elastic IP address. You can reserve the elastic IP address and attach to this VM, and then it will not never change, but it will be chargeable if you are not running the VM. Remember, elastic IP address or public IP address, both are free. Public IP address will be changed. Elastic IP address will not change. Both are free, but it will become a chargeable when you are not running the VMs. That means you have to pay something. Correct, no? Are you understanding?
Yes.
All of you? So what they are doing in the thing simple always. This is your AWS region or data center, whatever you call it. The VM is running somewhere here, and this is having the private IP address, of course. I'm somewhere outside, I cannot access this VM. So what they did at the network level, they give the IP address, public IP address. I will connect to this, and this will go forward to this IP address. Simple. Okay, so that's the reason this public IP address. So whenever you connect, you should connect to the public IP address. What to do? Public IP address. They give you the DNS also, if you can use it here, public DNS. This DNS entry also you can use it. DNS means the name of the IP server. So guys, are you understanding, all of you so far?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yes,
So here I connect. Here it's there. I connected, and now do whatever you want. From here, I am not going to teach you what you want to do. This is your VMs actually located on AWS. That's all. This is a VM you bought it. You are paying for per hour basis. Do whatever you want. I will install quickly some software. Yum install. Okay, first I'll become root. Sudo -s yum install what? HTTPD. Simple web server I'm installing because easy. It's not gonna install. Why? Oh, it's Ubuntu. Sorry, my bad. Yum will not work in this. I thought it's CentOS. The package name is change in this Apache 2. So I installed. Yes. Apache I installed. And after that, I'm going to restart the Apache systemctl. Start Apache 2. Done. Can we check this status? See, it's running. But I want to access this website. So curl. This is the command line only. Inside that. I'm inside that. Remember that. Localhost. Enter. See, this is a Apache website. But can I access from outside? So this IP address will not work. Okay, remember that. Private IP address, public IP address. You have to try. I'm not able to access. Why? Anyone have idea why?
Security group rule has to be enabled to allow 88.
Yeah. So network level security. See, there's a two firewall. One is like I'll show you this. Systemctl stop firewall D. This is the OS level. Okay. Firewall D. This is OS level. But security group is a network level firewall for your network. So where is that? So you go to this security, get comfortable with it. Don't worry about that. Nothing is too complicated. The UI is a little odd, but it's okay. And then here inbound, outbound. If you don't understand inbound or outbound, then please read this. The Google take a notes of it. And here I have inbound, means who can connect to me. So SS22 port has been used. I'm going to edit, and here add rules. Here I'll say HTTP Where is that? Here it is. All traffic also you can do that. It's not a good practice. 80 port. As such, you have HTTPS, we have 443. Remember all this. And from everywhere. From if you want to access only from your machine, then you say my IP somewhere. You should be having it. My IP, where is it? I think they removed it. No problem. You can get it like this. My IP. That means only from your IP address if you want to access. This is my IP of my internet. Which internet I'm using? I think Airtel. So this is my IP. So you can select, okay, HTTPS should be allowed only from this machine. This is my IP. See here, Google is telling you. So now, save rules. Done. This you cannot access. This URL. This URL. Just this URL you cannot access, but I can access public IP address. Still, I'm not able to access. Not sure why. Let me try first whether this is accessible or not overall. It can be OS level firewall also. So edit. I'll remove this one and select 0.0.0 from everywhere. Save rules. And here, am I using the right IP address? See, my bad. I was knowing that I had a mistake. See, this is my public address. So by mistake, I was copying this Windows IP address where I have not done anything. So that was a mistake. See. So anyone in the whole world right now can access. And if you want to access from the only some IP address range, you know that what to do. You have to modify your security groups and work on it. So this is the network level connections. If you want to open up any other port also, you can do that. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes.
Now, next thing you will say, Rajesh, I need a password. Not good for security, but how do you set the
One
password?
question I have.
Yeah.
When you install the Apache server, by default, it enables 80 on the OS level for that server.
Okay. So get back to the basics. Okay. Get back to the basic. This is your VM. This is your VM. And this VM has IP address. This is network. Your network. So VM, and this is your applications. So when you say port number, it's like a socket which open up. It is having no relationship with your network. Okay. So when you have a firewall here, this is the firewall. This is a OS level firewall. The one which I was showing in the Windows also. Firewall like this. This is the one. And this is the one more firewall. You have a network level firewall. And here you can open up this port or block this port. So let's say if you are here, so this 80 port, if you open up and you hit through the IP address, then it will go to the 80 port. If you allow 80 port at the firewall, then it will be allowed. It's a rules. If you say no, I'm not allowing any port, then even though if you are inside that, and if you hit this IP address of private IP address of the box, then you'll not be able to access. If you're inside here, you'll be able to access. Are you understanding? Same goes with the network firewall. Network firewall, you need to have this open also and this open also. Both you have to open. Yeah. What is the question now?
So the firewall, the operating system level firewall which you are mentioning, if it is disabled at that level. So when you did that local host, will you be able to access the server? No?
I repeat once again. For local host, there's no firewall needed at all. When you use the IP
Because
address,
you are
then
inside the
firewall.
operating system already.
Yes, that's what I said. No, for this guy, look at
Yeah.
this here, this guy. No firewall needed, whether it's this firewall or that firewall, I don't care about it. But when this firewall is needed, when you access this IP address, and this firewall is needed when you are outside of the network, then both the firewall will be applied. So sometimes what happens in my box, it's a disable actually. This firewall is disabled. Then you'll say, who disabled it? Say, am I only disabled it? Okay, you can enable it. You can enable it this firewall. Stop firewall D, start firewall D, and this is you can enable it like this. Getting my points?
Okay. Yeah, understood. So,
Yeah.
so the operating system level firewall is for each request which is coming to the system itself, whereas
Yes.
the
Through
network
IP
level
address.
firewall is coming from outside of the internal network, like
Correct.
for right outsider it is.
This network level firewall is applicable to all the machines, but this firewall is applicable only for this machine.
Understood.
Got it? Okay, so I was doing something. So yes, then you need a password.
Rajesh, I have a doubt. Rajesh, I have a doubt.
Yeah,
So to connect to the SSH, we should use the public IP, right? For
because
in
you
the
are here,
dash.
no? You are here. You are here. Yeah. If you are here, then you can use private IP address.
No, I'm not talking about this one. So in Git bash, whatever the bash, whatever, if you want to connect to this instance, we have to use a public IP, right?
That's correct.
The SSH.
That's correct. That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So now I got this. Now you'll say, Rajesh, I need a password. So the password, whether you should get or not get, that's not responsibility of AWS. Remember that. Password, see, ultimately they can give you IP address, which they give it to you. After the whether you access through the password or key or certificate or token or whatever way, depends on the image. So your image, the password was disabled. How? SSH was disabled. So how can you enable it? Let me do that. This is the file which you have to modify, and there's one entry which you have password enabling. You have to do that. So where is that? See here, permit empty password. No. Do you see that option somewhere? So this is a SSH.
It went
I'm
above.
looking.
It went above. Can you
Yeah,
scroll above?
maybe.
1 second. Yes, it is there at. I think it is there. Password authentication.
Yeah. So like that, you read this file. Okay. Slowly get comfortable with this concept. Nothing is hard. So I will edit this file. Say, oops, I'm by mistake. Yeah. So I'll edit this file and I'll say yes. Okay. And then save this and restart my SSD. Others will not taken the configuration. Systemctl restart SSHD. And then I will set the password PASWD as a root. I'm root, right? I can set any one password 12. What is this? Rajesh123. Rajesh123. What's password I set it up? It's okay. I'm a root. I can do anything. So now my password is 12. Username is 12. Password Rajesh123. So I'll go for new session. Last time I tried with the key. This time I will try with password. How? This key I don't need it at all. And this is no password. IP address is wrong or correct. Let me check this. Details 141. Oh, I don't know how I got that IP address. Maybe the last session. IP address, public IP address, what password Rajesh123. Now you got it, everything. and do whatever you want. This is your VM, do whatever you want. One more thing, don't expect the UI to be there. Okay, just come out of this the mindset of UI. This is something which you have to learn all the commands and do stuff, whatever you want to do. Now, how do I access this Windows machine? So for the Windows machines, you need a password. Yes. Then you will say, Rajesh, Windows machine, we need a password. Linux machine, we need a key. What is this going on? So actually, this is not decided by us. This is decided by Microsoft. So Linux support all these things. Windows supports only password, not a key. You can enable the key also by the way SSH. Now 2019 onwards or something, you can enable the key also. But for that, some other work has to be done. So let's get a password. How to get a password to connect? So here Session Manager is there, one of the service for connecting. Session Manager, people who can use the Session Manager. So let's say your company is not allowing access to the port level access from this, just like I'm doing the port level access. Then you can use HTTP level access they're allowing. So you can work in this, putting like an environment you'll get in the browser. But right now I need a password. So how do you get a password? So get comfortable one time reading. The port number for RDP is this one. Remember that. SSH port 22. All ports you have to remember that. So I'll ask you to remember this one. Port popular ports in network. And take an image and hard code your minds for time being. These are the things you have to remember all the time, no matter what session you are going. So see, HTTP port 80, SSH 20, FTP 2021. So this you have to learn actually. HTTPS 443. So remember that all this stuff. I'll share all this URL at the end of the session. I'll not close this. Okay, so you have to remember that all this port number. Windows port number, by the way, is not there, so you have to look at another also. Probably this one. Yeah, this has all these things. Right now, guys, will you remember all these things to do that offline? Hello?
Sorry?
Hello?
Yeah, got
Will you
it.
remember this? Yeah. Okay. So what is the port number for Windows? RDP 3389. So here, password. So you have to generate a password using the key, the one which I got it. So my key, where did I? This is the key. So I'm generating a password using RSA key decrypt. And this is the password actually I got it. Username is administrator. Okay, and this is my key. And now let's do the RDP. What is the public IP address for this? DNS also you can use it, but right now public IP address. So let's do the RDP now. Windows machine. So RDP, where is that? Remote desktop connection. Put the IP address. Connect. Now, guys, it's not going through. What is the problem then? What is the problem then? Anyone?
Port not enabled. Port not enabled.
You will have to enable the incoming 3389 for your IP.
Wonderful. Where?
On the security group of AWS.
Security group.
That's correct. So I'll go to this instance. I'll say, hey, where is your security group? So security group is here, but unfortunately, I'm using the same for Linux, same for Windows. Okay. So this is stuff. I'll go here inbound, and here as such HTTPS I allowed add rule. Now where is that RDP? Here it is. 3389 from everywhere, and save it. That's all. So you should not allow everything. It's a security concerns. You should allow only the things which you need it. Now I'll do again RDP, and it prompted me with the username and password. I'll just give this username, and this is my password. It's a long one, and done. Yes, of course, I want to connect this machine. And this is your Windows, and do whatever you want. You have it. I don't think so I have to teach you what to do with a Windows machine or Linux machine now. So the VMs getting on the cloud, your cloud is today is AWS. How to get it, how to access it, how to work with it. It's very simple. Still loading it, just wait for a few seconds more. It's just only, I think by mistake I selected only one CPU and 1 GB RAM. Understood, guys, all of you? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. So now, guys, this is the one. Now you say, Rajesh, okay, I need some step-by-step information. So anyways, the demo I showed you, recording you will have it. But I think you should also access this tutorial where you have a step-by-step information. Which tutorial? This is a AWS Lab and Exercise Computing. So these all are computing lab, okay? So here you have a step-by-step knowledge, which you can do that. Okay. So many things are there here. Many things are there. See here, self-paced lab. If you want some self-paced labs, you can do this here. There's some more labs and exercises. I'll show this in this. So you can come here. Okay, so this is the computing, all about the computing. Any questions which you have? Any questions anyone have?
Rajesh, you have just took that PEM file and you generated that administrator as username and password, right? Is it possible like we can customize the username and password, or by default we will get only administrator?
Okay, I will let answer question this one by all. What do you think? Is it possible? Anyone can answer his question?
Hello.
Yes.
For me, I think that it is possible to customize the credential.
Yeah, anyone would like to add on top of it? Think, guys, it's very simple question actually. See, I repeat, whatever the behavior of your VM, it's not the AWS is controlling. Who's controlling it? It's controlled by AMI, image, the one which you have chosen. I have chosen the image which is given by AWS, quick start. But you can have your own image. You can have enable the password. You can have anything open, blocked, any software if you want to keep it installed and then start the VM, you can do that. So you create AMIs actually. I mean, a machine image you create and do whatever you want. And whatever the image you are using, you will get the same behavior. Remember, all this is controlled by your image. What software should be there, what should not be there, which port should be open, what should be open at the OS level I'm talking about. Okay, what username, password, what key, password, certificate, this, that, and all, everything you can customize the VM image. Make sense? All of you?
Does that mean the passwords will remain same, or is it, or no? Because we are generating a new
In the VM, understand this way. If in the VM, you have some set the password. In the VM means image. I'm sorry, wrong word. If in an image you are using some password, and if you're using that image, you create a VM, the same password will work. Then you'll say, Rajesh, why I was setting the password or not? So this VM's image which I'm using, this is very standard image. So this image has been created in a certain way. So you're feeding the information from outside. But many images can be, you customize it and you don't need to set any of this as such. Make sense? There's some specifications to create an image that because of that you are selecting those options. So in a simple way, if I say, whatever you have in image, you will have in the VM. Whatever the certificate or key, you can embed it already in advance, those will work. But this VM, the one which I am using, that image, is you use a template image. So that's the best practice. The image which has been used, which has been developed using the best practices. So we are using it. Make sense? Okay. Anyone have any other questions?
No.
Okay. So now let's move on to the storage section, guys. Storage means what? The place where we can store our data. That even though if you delete that VMs which you have created here, if you delete, the data should not be deleted. It should be persisted. So this is a compute, you got it. This is the compute, you got it. But the data should not be deleted. So what to do in that case? So before creating a storage and using the storage, let's understand the types of storage. Anyone would like to help me here? Types of storage which you have worked with so far.
Block storage, object.
So block storage. Second one, object storage. And then one more, just for the discussion. Network storage. Correct now? So block storage, if you want to correlate, okay, I will read you, I'll ask you to read a little bit of it. Block storage, object storage, network storage. But I'll just correlate. Block storage is like a laptop storage. Simple. Will you remember that? Hello?
Sure.
So let me ask you one question. Can I use your laptop storage to power 2 laptops? Is it possible? One disk, 2 laptop. I mean 2 operating system. Possible? Compute unit. So at a time, you cannot use the 2 operating system for the same storage. So yeah, that's called block storage. Block means the storage device which is attached to the at a block level, means through your hard disk and all. Through your motherboard and all, something like that. I'm just simplifying this keyword. Okay. So if you read the block storage, you will little bit read complicated words. I'm just simplifying it. So block storage you can use for the EC2 instance, the VM, EC2 VMs. Okay, that is the things. Now, what is the object storage? Object storage means simple way. Google Drive you might have used, right? All of you? Did you? Let me ask you one thing. When you have some files in the Google Drive, how do you access it? Do you access through the operating system console or something else?
Using browser and the URL.
Browser. Yeah. So HTTP browser you use, right, for accessing it. Each file you can use it accordingly. So Google Drive, Git repository, these are the object storage we call it. Okay. So third storage which we have is the network storage. Network storage is basically kind of object storage only, but accessible on the network IP address. That's all. Let's say you have a 5 laptop in your home. So one of the laptop you convert into the network, and that storage you can access through the IP address. So for that we use NFS, network file system. I don't know how many of you have used it. And let's say if you want to set up a network file system in your server, in your laptop, you can follow like this. There's a software for it.
Is the NFS on-premise kind of?
NFS you can create in your laptop. NFS you can create in your on-premises data center or cloud, everywhere. These are the technology. So if you want to set up NFS in your laptop, follow this.
Are those dedicated in cloud as well?
Yes. See, follow this tutorial. Set up NFS server, RHEL CentOS. This will help. This you can set up in one of the VM. These are the software required for NFS. Configuration, some of this stuff. This you forget about the Kubernetes now. So this is your server. Here you can test the server. So here, this will be a IP address, and this is the mapping technology. Okay. You can mount your NFS server like this in your Linux box. So storage which is accessible over the network, that's called network storage. So now let's come to the point. So then you will say, Rajesh, I want the block storage, which I want to attach to the VMs like EC2 instance. So what we call, which service we call it in AWS? So we call it EBS. What is the EBS? EBS stand for Elastic Block Storage. Will you remember that? EBS. Then you'll say, Rajesh, I want to have a Google Drive on AWS. So let me ask you one thing. How many Google Drives you got it in one Gmail account attached to it? Each Gmail account, how many Google Drive attached to it? One. But you know, guys, here in AWS, you can create as many Google Drive buckets, you call it. See, one account, one bucket, you got it by Google. But here in AWS, you can have as many buckets you want. But here we call it, you know what? S3. You have to remember these services. I know that little bit unique name actually. So it is just a matter of habit and practice. What is the S3 means? S3 means simple. See, I also forgot. Simple. This S3 means simple, secure service, something like that. Okay, I'll just get it.
Simple storage service.
Simple
Storage service.
Simple storage service. So actually this is object storage. Okay, we call it simple storage service. Okay, so you have to remember that. Now I say, Rajesh, I want the network storage. So you know what, guys, network storage you can mount to the multiple VMs, multiple EC2 instance. Okay, network storage, but this you cannot mount to the multiple EC2 instance. One instance, one block storage, one ABS. So this network storage, what we call in AWS, we call it EFS. EFS means Elastic File Storage. There are few other storage also. If you are in a database domain, you may need to study that one, but right now out of this context. So if you want, I'll put it in a simple way. If you want the file to be stored in the VMs itself, then you should attach to the EBS. If you want that drive sort of functionality like HTTP based or something, then you should create a bucket on S3, and through HTTP protocol you can use it, this bucket. And if you want the EFS, that means one storage which you want to attach to the multiple VMs, then you should go for EFS. Every kind of services available. Now EBS is very costly. EFS is less costlier than EBS, and S3 is the most cheapest one in this whole thing. Now you say, Rajesh, how do I remember that? You don't need to remember that. Just remember this website, calculator, AWS calculator. So whenever you have some confusion, come to this place, type the service name and create estimates free of cost. So let's say I'll go for S3, correct? This is S3. Here, configure. How much S3 you want to use? This is started creating actually. I don't want to create. I want pricing. So no, this is not the calculator has changed the UI actually. See, a little bit downside. Can you see my cursor? Yeah. So here, let's say, so here, this is the cost for how much? I'll tell you. So here, monthly cost for 7.74 USD, yearly cost, and in that, I am doing some operations which I selected randomly without. So 100 GB per month, this is the stuff. So 100 GB per month, upload and download, it will cost me around 7.74 USD. So like that you can estimate it. So if you want to, because I have logged in already, so I can create also. Okay, so this is the way you can estimate stuff. There are few more calculators are there, which is not by AWS, but other stuff also you can use it for that. Okay, by the way, Terraform Enterprise, Terraform Cloud, sorry. They have this pricing also, Terraform Cloud. They will also, when you create an infrastructure, they will suggest you the cloud pricing. Are you able to hear me, guys?
Yes.
I don't know, Google is down. See here, first time I've seen that Google is down. Okay, so there is some, Srikanth is saying there's some background echo is coming from my side. Is that for everyone? Because I'm sitting at empty room actually. Okay, so I think Srikanth is this for only for you. Okay, so these are the things which you have to understand in the storage. Now the question is, where do you go and create a storage? So let me show you here, guys. So EBS, actually, EBS, there is no dedicated category defined on AWS. So then you'll say, where can we go and create? So here only, under the EC2 category only, if you scroll down a little bit, all of you see this one? Under the EC2 only. So here you have EBS. Now then you'll say, I want S3. S3 we have a category. See here. Okay. And third one, EFS also has separate category. See here. Now, if you want to put it in the categories base, then go to the storage. Where is the storage? Somewhere downside. See, these are the storage services. Backup. EFS, the one which I was talking about, network services. S3, this is the one I was talking about. There are few more storage which we have. If you're in storage technology and all, you can use it. Database and storage technologies.
Okay. Can you create EBS without creating virtual machine, or is it not possible?
It is possible. You can create EBS storage without creating a virtual machine. Remember that EBS we created our last time because of we wanted to run operating system, but this time my requirement is different. I want to have the storage and files, and if the EC2 instance got deleted, VMs got deleted, that file should not be deleted of that EBS volume. Make sense?
Okay.
So VMs are ephemeral, means temporary. Block storage EBS is persistent, permanent. As it will be there until you delete and stuff like that. Okay, so how do we create a VBS? Simple, guys. Go to the volumes, and these are the volumes I am already having available. This is for the demo Linux 8 GB, which was coming default for Windows 30 GB. So I want a little bit more. So let me ask you one question before creating a volumes. any one of us, anyone, we have 20 people in this session. Have you ever added new storage in your laptop? Anyone? New storage in laptop? What you did,
Yes,
can
sir.
you please tell me? Wonderful. What you did?
In my older laptop, I removed the optical drive and inserted an SSD.
Okay, but I said new storage, new hard disk, additional hard disk maybe.
Yeah, it was an
What you
additional
did?
hard disk.
So what you did? Tell me just. I just want to write.
Okay, like myself, I
So
didn't
we used
uninstall
to have
a driver.
optical discs earlier in the laptops. Now it does not have, but earlier we used to have. So I, using a caddy, I added a extra hard disk to my laptop. I removed the optical drive and added the SSD.
Okay, okay. That was the okay. That is a thing you did. Okay, good, good. Anyone else?
Okay, that's what I also wanted to say. That I use an SSD in addition to the storage that came with the laptop.
Yeah. Even I asked one of my team members recently to upgrade from optical to SDD to SSD actually. Okay, so that is okay. Okay, but my question was little different actually. So the process, I was very much particular about the process. So let's say there is a one storage hard disk. I'll use the hard disk only. SSD or HDD does not matter. Hard disk, I got it. Let's say I'm staying in Bangalore right now. So I went to SP Road and bought one hard disk. Okay. After that, getting the hard disk got attached to laptop. This is something you did. You open up a laptop from behind and you insert that new hard disk. Maybe two hard disks you have, or maybe you can do the desktop also. Okay. So you attach to the laptop. After that, what I did, I went to the disk manager. Have you worked with the disk manager in Windows? I'm not talking about the Linux right now to confuse you, but Windows only. Disk manager. How many of you have used the disk manager? This one.
I have.
Wonderful. So here,
Yes.
if you see that, let me open up disk manager. Where is that? It's here. This is your disk manager. Let it come. I mean, my Windows is maybe slow. It's here. Let it come. So right now in my laptop, I have only one disk, but you can have a multiple disk. Okay, as many disks. These things I did quite a lot in my desktop. With laptop nowadays, you are not getting that slots actually. Additional slots are not coming. But if you look at the old type of laptop, no, you'll have that additional storage also. So this is loading. Let it load actually. And so you got a disk manager, and what you did, first thing you format the disk. Correct? No? Correct? No? Hello?
Yes, yes, yes. Format.
And the format the disk, and after that, what you do, you mount in the mount at, let's say, D drive or E drive or F drive, whatever it is. You can mount anywhere actually, but typically we do that at the drive level in Windows. But in Linux, we can mount anywhere also, like OPT, XYZ, MNT, something like that. So, are you comfortable with this process, all of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. So if you're comfortable with this process, then what is great about AWS? AWS is not a god, right? They have to follow the normal process only. So first thing, what we'll do here, we add a volume. We call it a volume. Means grabbing the volume. Means getting a hard disk. How do I do that? Adding a volume. See here, this is my Windows machines. I have only one disk one. If I touch one more disk, you'll have a disk two also. And after that, you'll right click and format it. These options are disabled for me because it's my OS level disk. You'll format here, and after that, you'll mount it here. You can sometime what you do, many people what they do, they divide the one disk into the multiple disk also, multiple participants they will call it. But right now, I have only one participant. Nowadays, everything is managed by your laptop provider itself. So no, we are not doing anything. Our learning has been minimized actually nowadays. Okay, so adding a volume, how can you add a volume? So go to the volume section here, and I will create a volume. It's not a big deal. And here, volume type, GB. I'll go for only 5 GB worth for the demo. And here you select the IOFs also and availability zone and blah, 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 and create it. That's all. You create it. Now, one thing I want to ask you. Guys, do you remember that availability zone concept? All of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so remember that. Simple. This is ages 1 and this is ages 2. Think simple and then tell me. Think simple. AWS is not great tool actually, great platform. It's very simple. So here you have a one laptop. Laptop I'm using again and again because you can correlate. Actually, it's a VM actually. And here you have a one VM. So think simple. There's a storage volume is here, and storage volume is here. My questions to all of you: can I attach this volume to the other edges here, or can I attach this volume to this VMs? Can I do that?
Yes.
Why yes? Tell me.
Like not at the same time, but yes, EBS volume
No.
can.
Think. I want you all to think and tell me. Because sometimes nowadays we are the only thing which is missing. We never think the architecture.
Sorry, no, we
I
can't.
said volume. First, I defined the volume type. Volume also. Remember that I said volume, which is which is EBS. I discussed about that. Volume, I said it's something like a laptop storage. I'll put it in a very simple way. You have a laptop in flat number 1 and storage in the flat number 2. Will you be able to attach that storage? All I'm
Could be.
asking.
Because they are connected to the same LAN. So can I?
Yes. Bus actually. We call it bus, not LAN. The moment the storage become a LAN, then it will become a network, correct? No?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I am saying, think simple. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, someone is speaking, but his voice is not coming clear. So are you understanding what I'm trying to say? So that is where, guys, think simple. So here, when you go and create a EBS, don't go blind. This is the type. You can select you can define what is the difference between these all the SSDs. Some of them are cheaper, some of them are not cheaper. And here throughput, cold HDD also you can get it. Someone just now said I migrated from HDD to SSD, right? So this you can understand that. But right now I want you to focus on this one. So remember that this volume which I'm creating of 5 GB, you will only attach to the VM which is running in the A or B or C. Are you understanding or not, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So guys, the problem is I don't remember that VM's ages. I have not focused on that content. What I will do, I'll cancel this. I'll go to my VMs. I will ask my Linux VM, hey Linux VM, please tell me which ages you got created by default. Because at that time while creating, I did not select the ages with the intention to not to complicate. But right now I need it. So secure networking, I'll go into that and I'll select that. I'll see that what ages you got created. So do you find that information?
Yes.
So guys, here, yes, this is a 1B. That means what I should do, I should be very careful while creating a volume. Though create a volumes of 5 GB, I'm doing this for the 5 GB, minimum 1 GB. And here AB, this is my availability zone. Earlier in Mumbai, there were only 2 ages. Now we have a 3 in fact. So now I'll create it. So guys, as per the discussion, this getting a volume like buying a hard disk from SP Road, its work is done. After that, what you have to do? Attaching to the laptop means attaching to the EC2 instance. So how to do that? Let's go to the, where is this my VM volume by the way? Here it is. And see, I did not name it.
One question. One
Yeah,
quick
tell me.
question. So if I create it in another availability zone, it won't work, or it would work?
You cannot attach it. Simple. You cannot
Already it is
attach.
attached. So it won't work.
Yes,
Okay, okay.
you can create it. You cannot attach. You can buy from S3 role, but you cannot attach it
Okay,
from
okay.
the different network. Correct, man?
Okay, okay.
Yeah, simple. Think simple always. So here you have a demo. This is my 5 GB. You see that? And right now, if you little bit, you see here creating. Okay. By the way, this VM. See, this is a waste of cost. So I did the new release session 1 month before corporate, and this still I'm paying for it. This kind of billing which is coming because of my carelessness, and I can't even tell to support to saying that I did with mistake, because this account is around 10 years old. So right now it's available. See this, I created a volume available. Okay, so this is available. So what to do? I will select this. And create action. I can modify, I can create a backup snapshot, we call it. I can delete, I can attach. What I will do, attach. Where, which instance? Of course, now you in AB, whatever the instance you are running, you see that here. And mine is demo Linux, which is the last one. You see that here? Last. And then where? Here. Linux file system, you
So
understand
it
a
will
little bit
not
of.
be listed here, right?
What is that?
It will not be listed here if I add it in the wrong availability zone, because it only accepts availability zone where it exists
Wonderful.
itself.
Yes. It will not
So
come
it will
those
be
VMs, which is the A and C. Okay.
okay.
And here your device name is attached, mounted at this place, and attach volume. So guys, I attached it. So which I did, this part I did. Will you remember this? Will you remember this? All of you are comfortable?
Yes.
Yes.
Now what you have to do, you have to go and format and mount to the some drive. So let me go to this. See here, first this is the same Lambda box, okay, where I attached. Do you see that? Let me show you. See, 5 GB do we have available? No, we don't have. What to do? So guys, there is a disk manager in Linux also. Just like here also I showed you just now disk manager. This Windows box just. Where is that disk manager? I closed it maybe. It's here. No, I maybe closed it. Okay, so just like a disk manager here we have in Windows, which you can use it, but in disk manager something like a software we have in Linux also. We call it LSDLK. And here, if you look at it very carefully, it's attached, it's shown in the disk manager sort of software, but it's not shown in the file system. This is the 5 GB, correct now? Hello?
Yes.
So then you will say, Rajesh, how can I get it? So Windows, I think it's UI. Many people are comfortable, right click, this, that, mount it, and it's very easy. But in Linux, these are the commands, we need to remember that. So let me see that these commands. At this official website, AWS also will have these commands. Nothing great. Thousands of blogs will get it on this. So nothing to worry about it. But let me see if I have the steps somewhere. And yes, here I am having it. Okay. So here I am having it. This is written by Gaurav. He is one of my colleagues, and this is written by me. Okay. So now, did we create a volume? Yes. Attach a volume? Yes. Verifying that whether it's available or not? Yes. After that, this is the command which will check whether the volume is empty or not available for mounting. So let me run this. And I have to do with the root actually. Okay? And you see the moment you see data, that means it's an empty volume available for mount. Now, how do you format the volume through the command line? So this is the command line. Which driver you want to use? XS, Xrit, and XFX, whichever you want. I'll go for the ext4. So this is the, remember that this is where that my storage is there, and I'm formatting using formatting means MKFS, means make file system. These are all Linux command, and type of storage is ext4. In Windows we had a FAT, then now we have NTFS. Remember that. is done. Now this is formatted, make file system is created, and after that I'm going to mount it. So where you're going to mount it? Root new volume. So I'm creating this directory, and now I'm mounting at this new volume that all this through the command. Done. Can you see that now? Now it's available 5 GB, and you are able to use here. That means anything you stored here in this location, you are actually storing in that 5 GB of volumes. And if the instance is gone, the volumes will remain same. And you can attach to the new instance, same process, and use the volume. Don't format it. This command don't run it. Got it? Are you understanding all of you?
Yes.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So same thing, guys. I will go here, demo, and force detach it. Detach it means you're not anymore can use in that VM. Force detach it. Attach, detach, mount, use that, simple. And this, I'll delete this. Where's that? Detach it, I did it. Deletion is not activated because maybe it's in progress. Now delete volume. Yeah. I did it. One more thing, you remember this rule. Whatever you create on AWS while learning, please remember to delete. Many people think, even including myself also, I used to think, okay, I have created with so much of hard work and let me not delete it. Why? Because after 1 hour, I'm going to use it. This is the mindset you will have. I also had it. And you know what? After 1 hour, you are busy with your family or girlfriend or whatever, some other work, office work, or maybe partying with your friends, and then this 1 hour become a 2 days, and you will end up paying for 2 days. So don't do that, because creation is so fast. Don't keep the resources running. Delete it. Simple. And again, after that, you can create. So you will be paying for per hour basis in AWS. Remember. Okay. So here I created the volumes and I use it. So now next thing which I want to create is S3. How do I create? Because it can be accessible through HTTP. So I'll just directly not complicate too much. Go to S3 service. Here I'll go and you will see that multiple buckets I'm having it. Okay, multiple buckets. I'll create one more bucket. These are the drives you can say I have in my account. I'll create one more bucket. This bucket should be globally unique. Remember, it's a HTTP accessible, right? So it has to be region-wide unique. So I'll use some of the random name. So, and the region, which region you want to create it, and then some ownership permission, this, that, and all. And this is a public access blocking. Versioning, if you want to enable it. Versioning means one file, if you modify 5 times, you will have each version. You can enable, disable tag, encryption, enable, disable, and create bucket. Simple. So that means I created one Google Drive actually. Where is that? This is the one, I guess. No, not this one. Here. It's empty. What to do? So now upload the files and directories. Here, add a folder, add a files. Just like you are using Google Drive, use this one and upload it. Upload any random file. Okay. And how do I access? This is the file. Look at this. I'll upload one more file which is HTML or text file. It will be easy for seeing that. So there is a text file, docker.txt. Uploading. This is a txt file. Okay. PM file will not open in the browser. So these are the two files. I can upload thousands of files. Then we'll say, Rajesh, is there any way to do that automated way to upload the file? Yes, you can use the command line also. S3 command line, which I'll teach you sometime. Okay, so this I'm doing manually through the, just like you do work with the Google Drive, right? It's your Google Drive. So this is the file I want to see that. So how do you see the full path? URL. Go to this. See here. File path is correct. Copy paste. But access denied. What to do? Give the right permission. I mean, accessible permissions. So now you have to study this, how to give the permissions. So go to the permissions here, read all this thing, edit, this is not bucket policy. Where's the permission table? Here it is. And block all the publics to unblock, save changes, confirm. All these settings, permission related settings, you have to enable it. Now file related permissions also available. So let me show you. So file related permissions, which is this is a docker.txt. Is it accessible? No. Why? Because file related permission is still not activated. So here, where to edit actually? So they say, hey, we are controlling this access. See, edit is not enabled. So they have this information also. So this bucket has a bucket owner enforce setting applied for object ownership. So I'll go to the bucket, and where is enforcing? I need to read this. So is here. See, so I need to disable this. How do I edit? It's a bucket level, okay? So this is ACL enable, acknowledge, object writer, save it, and done. Now I'll go to the bucket, objects, here, permissions, edit, and what kind of access you want to give to the public. All these things I'm selecting without thinking security issues, save it, run, apply, access. So same way, the way you work with the Google Drive, you can work with.
Can you
here
show
also.
it just one more time?
Yeah. So see, there's a two level of permission. One is a bucket level permission. Okay. Here you can find. Okay. And here few options are there for the bucket level. Now there is an object level permission. Where do you find that object level? Here it is. So both the permissions I gave it. It's a worst practice I followed. See, red. Why is showing? Because I gave the means public should be able to do a lot of things. Actually, it's not advisable, but it's okay. Got it? You should give only read only permission.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a versioning. I have not enabled it. So if you modify this file docker.txt 5 times, you'll see the versioning here. Bucket label I have not enabled. You can enable it. Let's say you can go and enable it. Any settings you can change it. Where is that? Go to the properties, and here you edit and enable. Many functionalities are there. So I enable it. Now I'll go to the object level, means file, and here I upload one more time this one. So where is the file? Here. I'll modify some damage. Okay. And upload one more time, same file. So two versions will be created. Version 1, version 2, anyone you can download. Choose. So go to the object level, and now version, see here. You got it?
So if you don't modify the file, it will still create a new version, right? If you re-upload it or no?
Timestamp, if it is different, then it should be creating new version.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the sub. So this is guys second type of storage which I said. Third is like network storage. Network storage, I repeat, which you can attach to the multiple EC2 instance. Where is that? So that service we call it EFS. Remember that whatever you are creating, please remember to delete. So end of the day, you should not tell me because of you I'm paying this much of money. Please remember that. You have to have a responsibility with the power. So EFS. So this is the last time I think. Yeah. So last time I'll create one more EFS. Name of the EFS demo 1. Which VPC concept is the next topic. Standard 1 zone and create it. Now this demo 1 you can attach to. This is the demo 1 created. Okay. So you can attach to any number of instance. Okay. See here, attach This is the command to attach in the EC2 instance. This is the EFS mount helper. This is the NFS client. So before running this command, you know what? You have to install the NFS, all the clients in the EC2 instance. User guides are also here. But if you're using mount helper, which is given by AWS, which is faster, little bit faster compared to this one. So then you can use this one. Mount by DNS, this is the DNS, mount by IPs. Okay, so this is the IPs. You can also availability zone and all. So anyway, you can do that and get it. This is a Linux command. Same command I used in the EBS also. Something similar. See here. Okay, so this is the three kind of storage which you have available on AWS. I mean, there are more, but you need to know only this one to get started with. Okay. After this, we'll have a topic of networking and few more topics. And load balancer, ASs and software, stuff like that, we'll discuss about it. So any questions so far, guys? Anyone have?
No.
Okay, so let's have one break because even I need it badly. So grab your tea, coffee, restroom, and personal calls for next 15 minutes, 1-5, and then we'll connect back and then continue the remaining topics. Okay, see you guys.
Thanks, man.